first thing that we're going to talk about. Raise your hands if you've heard of is over of equals percent over 100. Raise your hand if you've heard of is over of equals percent over 100. Uh-oh. Only 3 people have heard this? Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Now you're back to me. You got it. There's only 4 boxes, okay? Nah, there's 4. Okay, the first thing we're talking about is how to set up a percentage, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to give yourself the big giant proportion screen here. Okay, the big giant proportion screen. And there's 4 parts that we're going to use. The easiest part for 100 always goes on the bottom right-hand side. Because after all, percent means per 100. So we have to have one ratio that at least has 100 on the bottom. And since that's the side that we're talking about, for percentages, our percent symbol is going to go above that. Then we have to match up the percent. Since the 100 represents the whole thing, we have these 2 words that give us hints. So like 50% is how much of 80? Something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up these words here. These are the key words that are going to help you out. So the trick is over of equals percent over 100. This is how we're going to set up to solve percentage problems. As an is. Yes. As an S. Is over of equals percent over 100. All right, this is how we're going to keep this going. We're always going to use the same proportion. Raise your hand if this looks familiar to you now that you've actually seen it on the page. Okay, let the record show more than half the class have seen this before. Good. All right, so I'm going to give you a little phrase here. It's going to say this: what percent of 50 is 33? Question mark. What percent of 50 is 33? 33%. So, hold on a second. Let me ask you this. 66%. That's pretty good. 16.5%. Let me ask you this. What's 50% of 50? 25. So we know 50% of 50 is 25. But we want to know what percent of 50 is 33. So should our answer be bigger or smaller than 25? I mean, sorry, of 50%. It should be bigger in this case, right? Because we know 50% is 25, and we're looking for 33. So we should have a bigger percentage than 25. You guys with me on that? Yeah, okay, good. So here we go. I can kind of mess that up for you. Let's try this again. Here we go. So it says what percent of 50 is 33? Okay. Where does the 100 go? We'll start with the easiest one. If I'm going to set the proportion, where does the 100 go, Dalton? Bottom right. He's absolutely correct. Good. Now, what is this phrase right here? This phrase says what percent? So where does my variable go? What percent? Above 100. Dalton, you're on a roll, dude. Keep it going. Okay. Now this says of 50. Of 50. Where's the 50 going to go? Bottom left. Yeah, good. And then it says, finally, is 33. So where's the is part go? Top. You got it. 33. Here we go. Oh, wow. Perfect. This is the is over of equals percent over 100. All right? Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cross multiply since we have a proportion here. And we solve proportions by cross multiplication. So we're going to say 3,300 is equal to 50x. You with me on this so far? I need feedback. I need you guys to tell me yes or no because I don't know what you're thinking. Yes, you're with me. Question.
Wouldn't it have been easier if you just multiplied 2?
Yes. We'll talk about that. That's a great way. I'm glad you saw that. Okay. So we're going to divide by 50. We're going to divide by 50. Here we go. You know you can cancel out zeros if you have a 0 for a top and bottom. So that gives you 330 divided by 5. So if you don't know what to do, we take 330, we divide by 5. How many times is 5 going to 33? 6 times. That gives us 30. We're going to subtract. That means we're going to have a 3. We're going to bring down our 0. How many times is 5 going to 30? Check it out. With the remainder of 0. So we have 66%. Equals x. So 66% is equal to... Now, is 66%, is that a reasonable answer? Is that more than 50%? Yeah, right? Because we know that 50% is 25. And so we're looking for 33. Now, Marcos brought up a great point. He says, well, if you just multiply 50 by 2 to get to 100, can't you just multiply 33 by 2 to get your answer? And is that right? He is absolutely right. So the answer was 66. In this case, that works out great for you. Nice job. I'm glad you saw that. All right, what do you think so far, you guys? Easy, medium, or hard? Give me some feedback. Easy. Okay, I heard a couple of easies in there. All right. Let's do another one, shall we? Let's keep practicing. How about this? What percent of 224 is 98? Let's write that down. What percent of 224 is 98? Question mark. What percent of 224 is 98? Okay, here we go. We're going to set up our proportion. Where does the 100 go? But you guys got it, man. You got it right. Okay, now look at this phrase here. It says, what percent? So where does my variable go? Above the 100. Very good. Now this part says, of 24. Where does the of go? Oh, say the 224. Of 224. Bottom, yeah, you got it. 224. And then this last one says, is 98. Where's that part going to go? Top right. There we go. Now, in this case, should my answer be bigger or smaller? Well, what's here? What's 50% of 224? 112. And we're looking for 98, so it should be less than 50%, right? Okay, good. So we're going to cross multiply. 98 times 100, how much is that? 9,800, very good. 9,800 equals 224 times x. How much is that? 224x, right? All right, good. What do I do now? We're going to divide. You got it, man. 224. We're going to divide 224. Now, I don't happen to know what that is, but I have a handy dandy calculator. Tells me. So check this out. So we'll go 9800. We're going to divide this by 224. And what do we get? 43.75. So x is 43.75%. Now, is that reasonable? Is that less than 50%? Yes, because we know 50% of 224 is 112, and we're only looking for 98, so definitely less than. Give you a curveball here. You ready? The curveball says this. What number is 75% of 164? Question mark. What number is 75% of 164? All right, we're going to set up our proportion. We're going to put 100 down here. And then it says right here, what number? So where does the x go? You tell me. Top right? Top left. Yeah, top left. This part says is 75%. Where is that going to go? Over the 100. Very good. And then finally I have the of 164. Where's that going to go? You got it. 164. You got it. Okay, we have a proportion now. We're going to solve our proportion by cross multiplying. So we're going to have 100x equals, what is 75 times 164? What is 75 times 164? Looks like 12,300. 12,300. I'm going to divide by 100. That's pretty easy, right? Cross that out. So what's that going to give me? 123. says, what number is 75% of 164? Well, if you have 123 out of 164, you have 75%.